Hello everyone. Now we'll start the second part of unit number 4, that is management of current assets and dividend policies. This is the topic of unit number 4. In this topic, we have already completed management of cash. Now second topic is management of receivables. So in this video, in the coming sessions, we are going to solve the problem on receivables management. So first of all, the main gist of the points on receivables management are these one. The first one is importance of receivables management. First we'll discuss about importance. What is the meaning of receivables management? It is the operating responsibility of finance manager to manage the investment of receivables. The receivables are the debts owed by customers for the purchase of goods or the getting of services in the ordinary course of business. When the business sells goods on credit, debtors are created and amount is due from debtors. These are called receivables. So it is the responsibility of the finance manager to have a good control on these receivables. The objective of management of receivables is to maximize the return on investment on this asset. It is quite obvious that when more investment are involved in receivables, then there is a problem of working capital, bad debts possibility will be more. Similarly, if we keep very less amount involved invested in investment in receivables, then what will happen? The sales will be less because there is a competition nowadays. In such a competitive world, we can be able to survive when we provide some credit to customers. Otherwise, our competitors will provide the credit and their sales will increase, our sales will decrease. So we have to give credit period to the customers. If we keep less credit period, our sales will decline, the profitability will decline. So a balance, some policies should be made on managing these receivables, and also effectively implementation of those policies are required for management of receivables. So there should not be more investment in receivables, nor there should be less investment. There are benefits as well as disadvantages in making the investment on receivables. The next thing we are going to discuss is what are the factors that determine the size of investment in receivables. While deciding how much investment should be made in receivables, a number of factors should be considered. The first factor is effect of credit on volume of sales. Effect of credit on volume of sales. The demand of the products may be elastic or inelastic. If the demand is inelastic, then whatever credit period we give, the sales will remain same. सेल्स उतना ही रहेगा, कम क्रेडिट पीरियड दिए भी तो उतना ही रहेगा, ज्यादा क्रेडिट पीरियड भी दिया तो उतना ही रहेगा, तो डिमांड उसका इनइलास्टिक हो गया. तो अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट का डिमांड इनइलास्टिक है तो इट इज एडवाइज्ड टू गिव लेस क्रेडिट पीरियड, बिकॉज इवन इफ वी गिव मोर क्रेडिट पीरियड द सेल्स विल नॉट इंक्रीज. Whereas in case of elastic demand, the sales depend on the credit period, because by increasing the credit period, the sales will increase. By decreasing the credit period, sales will decrease in case of elastic demand. So before deciding how much investment should be made in receivables, we have to see what is the nature of the demand. How much are the sales? Is it elastic or inelastic? Next is credit terms. Terms regarding how much period should be allowed. How much period? There are two types of policies called liberal policy and stricter policy. Liberal policy means extended policy, and stricter policy means shortened policy. Now we have to decide how much period should be allowed. How much period? So we have to see the consequences. What will happen if we give extended period? What will happen if we give shortened period? Next come cash discount. Many a times a business organization will give cash discount to the customers for early payment. Some of the customers wants to pay the amount before due date, before maturity, and they will ask some discount. So the business organization has to give some discount because customer is paying before the due date. That is called cash discount. That should also be considered. What is the effect if we give 5% cash discount or 10% cash discount, like that? Next, policy and practices from selecting customers. See here, the nature of every customer will not be same. Some customers are called profitable customers. Some customers are called normal customers. So we have to see, we have to select, there should be some policy regarding selecting of customers. How to select the customers for providing the credit. The business cannot make a generalized rule that credit will be allowed to every customer. The business cannot treat all the customers alike. The nature of different customers are different. So there should be some policies regarding selecting of the customers. Paying habits and practices of customers. According to the past experience, we can be able to get the nature of paying habits of the customers. Some customers are very honest. They will pay the amount promptly, on time, before the due date. And some customers are there who always makes delay, who will not make the payment according to the schedule, on time, promptly. They will always delay. So we have to see, before extending the credit, we have to see the past experience of that customer, how he has paid in the past. Firm's policy and practices of collection. One more thing, there should be a separate department of credit department, collection department. The credit period or the credit management of receivables depend on the efficiency of this department. अगर ये कलेक्शन डिपार्टमेंट बहुत एफिशिएंट है, क्वालिफाइड है, एक्सपीरियंस्ड है, तो डेफिनेटली it can be managed. Receivables can be managed very effectively. We can give a good credit period, we can get a good return on investment on this receivables. So ultimately depend on the efficiency of this department. Next one is degree of operating. Degree of operating efficiency in the billing and recording functions. This billing and recording functions is also one of the part of this collection department. So efficiency of this department will also decide how much should be the size of investment. So these factors must be considered while deciding how much investment we can make in investment, how much credit period should be allowed. The next topic in investment management, receivables management is aspects of management of receivable. Broadly, there are three aspects of management of receivables. The first aspect is credit policy. The first aspect is credit policy. The meaning of credit policy is determining the credit period to be given. Determining the credit period to be given. Should it be 3 months? Should it be 4 months? Should it be 1 month? So there is no generalized rule. We cannot make a general rule that हर बिजनेस में 2-3 महीने का क्रेडिट पीरियड देना चाहिए, हर बिजनेस में 2 महीने का क्रेडिट पीरियड देना चाहिए. We cannot make, because the circumstances, the business nature will differ. हर बिजनेस का नेचर, हर बिजनेस के कस्टमर्स अलग अलग रहते हैं, कंडीशंस चेंज रहते हैं. So the finance manager has to apply his own experience, knowledge in deciding how much credit period should be allowed. Now what will happen? If we give lengthy credit period, 3, 4 months, 5 months, there are advantages as well as disadvantages. The advantages are, when we give more credit period, more customers will come, the sales will increase, profitability will increase. That is the advantage. फायदा हो गया, प्रॉफिट बढ़ गया. क्यों? क्रेडिट पीरियड ज्यादा दिए, सेल्स बढ़ गया, प्रॉफिट बढ़ गया, ये एडवांटेज. But remember, there are disadvantages. So cost also is there in managing in this receivables. The cost are, money will be blocked in investment. Money will be blocked in these receivables. On that money which is blocked, we have to pay in the interest charges. Example, 10 lakh रुपए customers के पास से आने का है. 10 lakh rupees are the amount due from the customers. In that 10 lakh rupees, 8 lakh rupees is our cost of production and 2 lakh rupees is the profit. वो 8 lakh rupees जो cost of production है, that is the amount we have taken a loan or we have borrowed that amount, we have financed that and invested and we are paying the return. Example, बैंक से लोन लिए 8 लाख रुपए का लोन लेकर हम उसको गुड्स बनाकर बेचे कस्टमर्स को. अब वो 8 लाख रुपीस के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट तो पे करना है. We have to pay the interest charges on 8 lakh rupees for 6 months. Suppose we are providing 6 months credit period, तो 6 महीने तक हम इंटरेस्ट पे कर रहे हैं, वो कॉस्ट है. So जितना ज्यादा क्रेडिट पीरियड देंगे उतना इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस हाई हो जाएगा. रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट. सेकेंडली, बैड डेट्स. जितना ज्यादा लेंथी क्रेडिट पीरियड देंगे, मोर चांसेस ऑफ बैड डेट्स. मनी डिलेड, मनी डिनाइड. One proverb. This proverb comes from legal jargon. justice delayed, justice denied, it is said. कहते हैं justice delayed, justice denied, ऐसा कहते हैं, saying है. उसी तरह का saying फाइनेंस में भी डाल दिए, money delayed, money denied. जितना ज्यादा मनी डिलीट करेंगे उतना रिकवरी के चांसेस कम हो जाएंगे, बैड डेट्स ज्यादा हो जाएंगे, और टाइम पीरियड कम रहेगा तो बैड डेट्स भी कम रहेंगे. तो डिसएडवांटेजेस ऑफ कीपिंग हाई इन्वेस्टमेंट इन रिसीवेबल्स इज इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस विल इंक्रीज, बैड डेट्स पॉसिबिलिटी विल बी मोर. दीज आर द कॉस्ट. अगर लो क्रेडिट पीरियड रखेंगे तो इसमें एडवांटेज भी है, डिसएडवांटेज भी है. एडवांटेज ये है कि इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस विल बी लेस, बैड डेट विल बी लेस. दीज आर द एडवांटेजेस. बट डिसएडवांटेज इज our profitability will be low because our sales are less, because we are giving less credit period. So how to fix the credit period? A policy has to be made by making a trade off between benefit and cost. अभी problems हम करेंगे. In these problems we will evaluate the credit policies in deciding how much credit period to be given by making a trade off between benefit and cost. That is called credit policy. And one more thing, we cannot make a rigid credit policy which is applicable at all the times. No. Once a credit policy is applied, then time to time we have to review, we have to analyze and see whether it should be continued or should we change the credit policy. According to the circumstances, according to the situation, we have to review and revise the credit policy also. We cannot make a rigid credit policy. Next one is credit analysis. Once a credit period is made, we cannot rigidly apply the credit period to all the customers. The customers should individually be evaluated, analyzed. How much credit period? Example, छोटा सा simple example I'll give you. Suppose a firm has decided that our credit policy says we will give 4 months credit period. The company made a credit policy of 4 months credit period to the customers. It doesn't mean that every customer will be allowed 4 months credit period. We have to analyze each and every customer. Suppose 100 customers are there, or the nature of all the 100 customers are not same. Some customers are very honest, very prompt in making the payment. Some customers will always make the delay. So we have to change the policy individually also. That is called analysis, credit analysis. So how to make the credit analysis? We have to see the credit worthiness of individual customers. So nowadays, some credit rating agencies are there. They will provide the complete credit worthiness of a number of organizations. So the job of finance manager is very simple. They have to refer the rating given by the credit agency and see what is the rating of this particular company, particular customer. Accordingly, they will decide how much credit period we can give. But the credit rating agencies will not give all information of all the firms. In developed countries you can have, but in developing countries we don't have the information of all the firms with the credit rating agency. So if some firms are there whose credit rating is not given by the agency, then individually the finance manager has to evaluate by taking information from different sources like trade references, bank references, or previous year's financial statements, or previous paying habits of the customers. So individually the customer should be evaluated and decided how much credit period should be given. This is called credit analysis. Next come follow-up procedure. Once a credit period is fixed, after fixing the credit period, customers are analyzed, evaluated, we have implemented. Now we should not keep quiet and wait till the maturity, and on maturity the customer will come and pay. ऐसा तो नहीं होता है. एक बार डिसाइड कर दिया 4 मंथ क्रेडिट पीरियड देंगे, कस्टमर आ गया, कस्टमर को 4 मंथ क्रेडिट पीरियड दे दिए, अब वेट कर रहे हैं 4 महीने के बाद कस्टमर बराबर लाके देगा. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल. इट मे और मे नॉट पॉसिबल. हो भी सकता, नहीं भी सकता. तो इसके लिए देयर शुड बी अ फॉलो अप प्रोसीजर. फॉलो अप प्रोसीजर सेज collection department should be made, which the collection department should remind the customers before the due date. अब due date जैसे ही approaching है, करीब है, the collection department should give notice to should give reminder to the customer that your amount is becoming due. Please make convenient to make the payment so that we can be able to serve much better in future. Like this, reminders should be given. If after reminding also the customer is not paying, then there should be some procedure how to recover that amount. Last step is we'll apply the legal case against that person if he is not paying the amount. So there should be some policy of following up collection procedure. So these three aspects are called management of receivable aspects. First, making the credit policy. Second, analyzing the individual customers. Thirdly, follow up of procedure. Next thing is aging schedule. To get an insight into the quality of customer accounts, we will prepare a statement. कस्टमर्स कैसे हैं, हमारे जो कस्टमर क्रेडिट कस्टमर्स है, जो डेटार्स है, तो हमारे डेटार्स का क्वालिटी कैसा है, ये मालूम करने के लिए एक स्टेटमेंट बनाया जाता है. वो स्टेटमेंट को कहते हैं एजिंग शेड्यूल. सो एजिंग शेड्यूल इज अ स्टेटमेंट विच इज प्रिपेयर्ड टू फाइंड आउट द क्वालिटी ऑफ डेटार्स. तो व्हाट इज दिस इन दिस एजिंग शेड्यूल? We'll write down when the goods are sold and when the payments are made and when the payments are due. कितने महीने से अमाउंट ड्यू है, इसका एक टेबल बना के क्लासिफाई करेंगे ऑल द कस्टमर्स, सो दैट वी कैन बी एबल टू गेट एन इनसाइट इनटू द क्वालिटी, इनटू द नेचर ऑफ अमाउंट्स ड्यू. तो इससे फायदा क्या होगा? दिस विल बी वेरी मच हेल्पफुल टू द कलेक्शन डिपार्टमेंट टू एक्सेलरेट द कलेक्शन, टू मेक ए फॉलो अप प्रोसीजर. फॉलो अप प्रोसीजर इजीली कर सकते हैं. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, बाय मेकिंग द एजिंग शेड्यूल वी कैन बी एबल टू एस्टिमेट हाउ मच बैड डेट्स विल बी देयर. Simple example I'll give you. Suppose a business organization is there in which 10 lakh rupees are the total debtors. By making the aging schedule, we can say that in that 10 lakh rupees, 8 lakh rupees are due for more than 8 months. 8 lakh rupees are due for more than 8 months. Whereas 2 lakh rupees are due for less than 8 months. Less than 8 months. और एक business है, इसका completely reverse है. In that business also, second business, 10 lakh rupees are the debtors, but in that 10 lakh rupees debtors, only 2 lakh rupees are old debtors, more than 8 months. And remaining 8 lakh rupees are due within 8 months. So what will happen? The bad debts provision will be more in the first. पहला जो बिजनेस है जहां पर 8 लाख रुपीस ड्यू है मोर देन 8 मंथ्स, तो यहां पर बैड डेट्स के चांसेस ज्यादा होंगे, क्योंकि जितना डिले ज्यादा होते रहेंगे उतने बैड डेट्स के चांसेस ज्यादा होंगे. सेकंड बिजनेस में ओनली 2 लाख रुपीस आर ओल्ड डेट्स, 8 लाख रुपीस आर न्यू डेट्स, तो यहां पर बैड डेट्स के चांसेस कम होंगे. इन दिस वे वी कैन बी एबल टू estimate the bad debt losses by preparing this aging schedule. Now simply I can say aging schedule is a statement which is prepared by listing all the customers according to their age, when we sold the goods, when the amount is due, when they have paid the amount. By preparing this statement, we can be able to understand, get the knowledge about the quality of debtors. By making this aging schedule from one period of time to another period of time, we can be able to compare and analyze whether the quality of our debtors have decreased or increased. Similarly, we can compare the aging schedule of one business with another business. So main advantage of this aging schedule is the follow-up procedure will become easier and we can be able to calculate how much would be the bad debts. So this is the complete theory. In examination, you may be asked a theory question regarding a 4 marks theory question, short bits theory question. They will ask you, what do you mean by credit policy? What do you mean by aging schedule? Very frequently they will ask this concept, aging schedule. And in this video, below the video, you will find the attachment. In that attachment, you will get the complete theory of all this. Get a printout of this complete theory of receivables management. Go through once or twice. After listening this lecture, you can easily understand the concept and you can write in examination. So these are the points regarding receivables management. Remember, receivables are the amount due from customers for the purchasing of goods and services in the ordinary course of business. So finance manager has to manage this inventory in order to get an optimum return on investment. यहाँ पर भी investment है. Receivables management, receivables are also one of the asset. In ordinary language we call it as debtors. बैलेंस शीट में देखते हैं आप, फिक्स्ड असेट के साथ करंट असेट भी है, और करंट असेट का एक पार्ट इन्वेस्टमेंट है, यहां पर पैसा लगा हुआ है, और जहां पर पैसा लगता है वहां पर रिटर्न हमको चाहिए, रिटर्न हमको चाहिए. तो टू ऑप्टिमाइज द रिटर्न ऑन इन्वेस्टमेंट इन दिस एसेट, द फाइनेंस मैनेजर हैज टू मेक पॉलिसीज and implement those policies in order to manage the receivables. This is the complete theory regarding receivables management. In the next video, next session, we will start the problems on receivables management.